Welcome everyone, you have joined me for another edition of Diecast Emporium Military Mondays, brought to you by my friends at smallscalehobbies.com. If you are into military models, particularly in 187 or HO scale, I cannot recommend enough, check out smallscalehobbies.com for all of your military scale model and wargaming needs. Alright, in today's episode of Military Mondays, we're going to take a look at the LVT A-2 Water Buffalo, also known as the Amtrac or the Amphibious Vehicle Tract. So these machines actually got their start from a civilian water rescue vehicle called the Alligator. And when the Navy and particularly the Marine Corps saw these things, they're like, that's the ride for us. We need to get our hands on these. So again, this is not the original Amtrac or the original LVT. This is actually the LVT A-2, the Water Buffalo. This one has some weapons on it, of course, which after they quickly found out that they needed some protection when going from ship to shore, they determined that they needed to do some upgrades with not only some weapons, but also some increased armament on these LVTs, or Amtracs, as the guys would like to call them. So the U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps used the letter L to designate amphibious vessels, which they also called the L-class. This version, which I've said already a couple times, was known as the LVT-2. Over 2,960 were produced from 1941 to 1945. This LVT-2 is a U.S. Marine Corps version that was used in the Iwo Jima campaign in the Pacific in 1945. So this is actually a ready-made, fully assembled, battle-ready, painted, decaled, all that kind of fun stuff from a company called, allow me to move this out of screen for just a minute, Artitec. And they can be quite expensive. I'm not going to beat around the bush, but this company does some fantastic replicas of not only military vehicles, but also some civilian vehicles. Comes in a package that looks exactly like this. It actually comes on a base. You can see the screw that you have to remove. This is what the packaging looks like. Pretty much nothing on the back, but it does tell you what is inside on the side. So US LVT A-2 Iwo Jima, ready-made 187 scale model. There is their website if you want more information. I, of course, purchased mine from smallscalehobbies.com, so there will be a direct link to where you can buy this exact model, either in finished form, which is what this is, or if you want to build your own and paint your own, Artitec does offer this in kit form as well. But again, for sake of this video, the link that is in this video's description will be for this exact product. So, speaking of, let's take a closer look at it. So, as you can see as it spins around on the spinny table, these Amtracs or LVTs, really the great-grandfathers of today's U.S. Marine Corps Amtracs, they share a lot of the same characteristics. So they share a tracked vehicle frame, sometimes called a caterpillar, and they do have some weapons on it. So this one up here is like a 50 caliber. I would assume that these are 30 caliber machine guns, but I can't verify that, but they look a lot like 30 cal. This is a antenna, which I think looks really good. It is a piece of wire that is very thin and to scale. You can see that there are decals that are already applied, 11 A20. You also have some red striping. What I really think looks the best about this, though, is the camouflage pattern, and it really, really stands out and looks good. You can obviously see that this has been factory weathered to really depict some of the nastiness, I guess is the best kind of political correct word you can use, for the conflicts and battles that occurred in the Pacific, and that is, of course, a gross understatement. Here is a closer look at the inside. So if you do have some 187 or HO scale figures, either from Prizer or maybe some 3D printed other ones, you can really detail one of these out with a squad or a platoon of Marines coming from the ship to the shore. That would really look cool. At the time of this video's publication, I do not have any figures to put in this, or obviously I would have done that already for the video. Here's what the base looks like. You can see where the single screw mounts right here. Coming to the front, you have the same red line marking or red line decaling. And again, the camouflage pattern chosen for this is really, really attractive and very realistic looking, especially if you can find some either still photos or even some color videos that was taken during the island hopping campaign in the Pacific. I can remember actually seeing LVTs that looked very, very similar to this one in this color pattern. So it seems as though Artitec has done their research and replicated this off of what is most likely a real LVT that existed back in the day. So the item number is 68706162, as I said, made by Artitec. At the time of this video's publication, this model retails on the Small Scale Hobbies website for $54.99. Again, that may seem like a lot to some collectors, but you are getting a ready-made and finished and highly detailed model for that price. This is not something you have to take home and prime and paint and decal and build yourself. That being said, I do believe that it is fair value, and you don't see a lot of Amtracs or LVTs, particularly in 1/87 scale anyway, with this level of detail. Obviously, there are some that are out there that are HO scale, that are 3D printed, but in my mind, this is the best bang for your buck that you could possibly get, and certainly one of the best in terms of what the Marine Corps and the Navy used. There are other variations that Artitec made of the LVTs. There are some with howitzers on them. I believe there is one that the Army used as well. So there are several different variations. At some point, I would like to get at least one more of these, and maybe you'll see one of those on a future edition of Diecast Emporium Military Mondays. But that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you all so very much for watching. Of course, if you enjoyed this video or you have anything else to add, please utilize the comment feature in the bottom of this video in the comment section. Until next time, God bless, be safe, be well. I will see you in the next review.